boys and girls, and welcome to Chord on Guitar and to a great song from James Bay called One Life. So James Bay, a great artist, perhaps you recognize Let It Go. If you don't, check that one out. Great song there as well. This time, like I said, One Life. So great song, only 4 different chords. I'm gonna show you how to play the chords in some different ways, so you have some alternative to these chords to have it a little bit easier when it comes to the playing. But before that, let's set our capo here on the 1st fret to match up with the sound, and we have the following chords: A, E, B, and C sharp minor. So let's start with the A. Sounds like that. So that is open A, 2nd D, 2nd G, 2nd B, and open E. You can also just put a bar here on the 2nd fret from the D string and down. So that means 4 strings. And if you do that, if you choose to do that, try to avoid the last E string. So strum here in the middle of the strings here between A and B. All right, so bar or these 3 like that. That's A. Next chord will be E. So we'll play open E, 2nd A, 2nd D, 1st G, open B, and open E. Next chord will be B, and the real chord sounds and looks like that. So it's a bar on the 2nd fret from the A string and down, so 5 strings from bottom and up, and the rest will be 4th on D, 4th on G, and 4th on B. You can also play the B like this. So you have a bar here, or just put your finger on the 2nd fret A string and put a bar on the 4th fret from the D string and down. So 4 strings with, like I do, my ring finger. If you choose to do that, try to avoid, again, the last E string, all right? You can also, a 3rd alternative here, and the reason for I give you all these alternatives is because some of the shifts goes pretty fast, so it's up to you to find your way of playing this one. You could just put a bar on the 2nd fret from the A string and down, so 5 strings still, but just take away the last 4th fret on the B string. So you just had a 4th on D and 4th on G. So that's an alternative to play that as well. Perhaps that is a bit easier for you. So 3 ways of playing the B. All right, and the final chord will be the C sharp minor. All right, so you just put a bar here now on the 4th fret from the A string and down, so 5 strings, and the rest will be 6 on D, 6 on G, and 5th on B. All right. All right, so there we have all the 4 chords with different variations. Now let's look at the actual song, and it starts in the 1st verse. The 1st chord will be A, and I'm gonna start with showing you the strumming pattern. So this one is pretty long. It's divided into 2 different parts, and we'll also throw in a 3rd part, so part 3, we need that, and you're gonna see why pretty soon. But yeah, let's start with the A, and I'm gonna describe this strumming pattern in the description below. I'm gonna write D and U. So D means down and U up, all right? So that is how I'm gonna explain it for you. So yeah, let's look at the full strumming pattern. It will be down, down, up, clap, down, clap, down, up. So pretty long. So it's gonna sound like this. That is 1 full round. This is divided into 2 different parts. So part 1 will be down, down, up, clap. Like that. So down, down, up, clap. And the second part will be down, clap, down, up. Down, clap, down, up. And we're gonna throw in a part 3 as well. We need that, and that is just down up. So like that, pretty easy. And now when we have that, we're gonna look at the first verse. So it will start with A, part 1, the down, down, up, clap. And then E, part 2, the down, up, down, clap, down, up. And then we're gonna go with B, part 1 again. Then C sharp minor, part 1. And quickly you change to B and play part 3. So just down, up. All right. We'll stop there. We're still in the middle of the chord progression here for the first verse. So A part 1, E part 2, B part 1, C sharp minor part 1, and B part 3. I'm gonna take it very slow for you so you really understand what we're playing now. So A part 1, E part 2, B part 1, C sharp part 1, all right. Actually, C sharp was part 2 there as well. No, sorry, part 1. Yeah, I played the right thing and said wrong. So C sharp, part 1, and B part 3. So again, A part 1, E part 2, B part 1, C sharp part 1, and B part 3. And then we're gonna play A part 1, E part 2, and B 1 full strumming. So A part 1, E part 2, and B 1 full. And that is one chord progression, so it's pretty long. I'm gonna summarize this for you, so you just go over the different chords and parts. So A part 1, E part 2, B part 1, C sharp minor part 1, B part 3, then A part 1, E part 2, and B 1 full strumming round. I'm gonna play this slow for you, so let's go. So that is one chord progression round. You're gonna play that for 2 rounds, and that is your first verse. That takes us to the first pre-chorus in the lyrics, forever ain't forever. So you're gonna play just 1 down per chord here. So it will be 1 down on C sharp, then 1 down on B, then 1 down on C sharp, and 1 down on A. Right, that is the pre-chorus, and that takes us to the first chorus. That is played in the same way as the verse. So you will have 2 chord progression rounds of the same way of playing as in the verse, and that is the chorus. Now everything else is pretty much repetition when it comes to different parts and how to play it. Second verse played in the same way as the first one. And the same goes with the second chorus that comes right after, played in the same way as the first chorus. After the second chorus here comes a bridge part in the lyrics, no life ain't a life, and so on. So there you're gonna play A part 1, E part 2, and B 1 full strumming pattern. That will be 1 chord progression, and you will play that for 2 rounds. So let's go over this bridge part. 2 rounds of A part 1, E part 2, and B 1 full. All right, so that's it. And after this bridge part comes a second pre-chorus, played in the same way as the first one, with this one down per chord, C sharp, B, C sharp, A. And then comes a third chorus. This one is the same way of playing as the previous courses. The only difference here is you're gonna play it for 3 rounds instead of 2 rounds. So 3 rounds, a little bit longer. And after this third chorus comes an outro part in the lyrics called "A life ain't a life, ain't a life, ain't a life without you." All right, so here you're gonna play A part 1, E part 2, and B one full strumming round. Like in the bridge part, you're gonna play that for the first round. The second round, you're gonna play A part 1, E part 2, then B just part 1, because you're gonna play up to C sharp 1 down and back to B 1 down. Okay, so that is the second round. So the first round was A part 1, E part 2, B 1 full. Then A part 1, E part 2, B part 1, C sharp, B, just 1 down per chord. And then you're gonna play the third round, which is in the same way as the first round. A part 1, E part 2, B 1 full. And then it ends on the fourth round with just 1 down on A, 1 down on E, and 1 down on B. So I'm gonna play this final outro part for you. That is pretty much 4 rounds. I'm gonna play it slow for you. So let's start with A part 1. And it ends with 1 down on A, 1 down on E, and 1 down on B. So that is how James Bay's One Life ends. So the challenge here, or perhaps even just the only thing you need to know pretty much for the song, is how to play this chord progression that goes in the same way pretty much through the entire song, or kind of 90% of the song. So learn the different parts, and I'm gonna type them down here in the description below so you see what we're doing. So that is pretty much what One Life is all about. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope that helped, and play tuned.